Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
What's going on, guys? It's Filthy, and we're back with another video. Hope you didn't miss me too much. We have PTR starting Thursday. It's really exciting. We've got the notes to go through. I'm going to basically talk about whether I think this season is going to be a success or whether it's going to suck. Now, season 23, we got a really good update to the follower system. That was absolutely fantastic. Enjoyed that an awful lot. But I think there were a couple of things that made the season a little bit underwhelming, I think, in terms of the player base. And I'm slightly worried that those things haven't gone addressed in this patch. But we'll start off with the positive. Let's go through the things that we like. Now, we've got all the usual PTR buffs, but basically we have a season theme, which is great. I think this last season, 23, we have missed the season theme badly. I think quite a few people would have played longer had there been an interesting mechanic. We do have an interesting mechanic this time around. How good it will be will depend on how strong these are. So what is it? Well, we're going to have Ethereal Weapons. So straight out the gate, we've got a new weapon class to collect. Presumably they're going to have their own beam. I don't know what color it's going to be. Maybe purple. That would be kind of nice. Maybe we'll have to see what it is. They're going to have a set of powerful affixes. So we don't know what these are. This could be more stats, better stats. It could be new stats. It could just be high regular stats. I don't really know. We get a random legendary power. So, some classes this will be quite easy to get to drop. Like Necro's not got many weapon powers. So Necromancer will be quite easy to find an ethereal with a legendary power. You like something like a Crusader that has got a bazillion weapon powers. Is going to be much, much harder. We also get a random class passive. Now, honestly, this is basically going to be a fifth passive, and it's lucky dip as to whether you get one that you like. Most classes don't have that many good passives, so this is going to be really, really, really de minimis. It's not going to be massive, but it is essentially an extra passive. And the idea, which I really love, is it's like a treasure hunt. So we've got 21 ethereals that we can collect. So each class has got 3 unique ones. If you collect all of them, you're going to get a feat of strength and also some cosmetics. So I think this is fantastic. You get to now play all the classes and you get rewarded for it. You get rewarded for finding all these items, which in terms of the season, I think for the longevity, for casual players, for myself, I'm a person who loves collecting items and finding them, so I am quite excited for that. Now, the drop rate is going to be between ancient and primal items. Now, we've got no more information on this, and this is a tricky thing as to where this should be pitched, because I've played up to about 1800 Paragon this season, and I've found about 40 primals. Now, obviously, ancients are about 1 in 10. We've found thousands of ancient items. So, the gap between these two things is massive. So is it going to be 1 in 200? Is it going to be 1 in 400? A primal, I think, is about 1 in 5, 1 in 600. They are very, very rare. I'm hoping that the ethereals are rare enough so that we're not swimming in them, but they're not so hard to find, because obviously trying to find one with the right weapon power on it is going to be hard, but maybe that'll be fun. Again, maybe it will reward people who play the game a lot longer, so we'll just kind of have to see. But I think as a concept it sounds very interesting. Questions we have are, will we be able to take a legendary power from a 2-handed weapon, for instance, and put it on a 1-handed weapon? We've got 3 per class, so is it going to be main hand, offhand, and 2-hander? Can we put, for instance, on a Necromancer, can we put Riley and his Shadow Hook on an offhand? Do we put the Ethereal in the offhand slot, and then we can still have a weapon on the character? Obviously we will find out on Thursday. And what are these stats? How powerful are they? How much juice? How much gas are we getting? And fingers crossed the weapons, I'm guessing they're going to drop like primals, as in the legendary power will be maxed out on it. So it won't be a case of it drops on a range. It'll be all these things will be fixed. It will basically be a god tier weapon, but you're just looking for the right legendary power. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And if they do, add some things like add more damage to the weapon so that they are really good, and it is vastly superior to have one. I think that probably will be good. Obviously, we don't want them massively OP, but they need to have enough power to make it worthwhile collecting them, to use them, because I think the loot hunt aspect of it is good, but if they don't provide a bit of power, I think most people will probably skip out on this, because collecting all 21 across the classes, again, depending on the drop rate, is probably going to be tough. I'm going to do it, and we're obviously going to be up for it, but we will see. So potentially a very good concept, and again, this can be expanded in the future. You know, your character could maybe have an ethereal slot, like a cube slot possibly. You know, there's lots they can do with this. You could maybe make more ethereal items. You could have ethereal braces, shoulders, so on and so forth. So again, it would be interesting to see whether this does make it into the main game. It doesn't look like it. They're saying the items don't cross over. But again, maybe if we like it, maybe it will. Okay, so that is potentially a really good reason. What else have we got? We've got inners is getting changed. Now, I'm going to say that this is a really good thing for the game, because inners set at the moment is not used. People don't play it. It is just a generic monk set that is worse at everything than the other monk sets. Again, inners, monk is just so dominated by Tempest Rush and Wave of Light. It is nice to get something different. This is basically going to be a pet build. We've got the boots have been buffed, the braces have been buffed, the whole 6-piece set has been buffed, and that is going to be kind of nice. So the developers know they want it basically to be different. That's good. I'm hoping this is going to add a little bit of variety to Monk, because we will now have Tempest Rush, Wave of Light, and hopefully a Mystic Ally pet build. But yeah, I mean, Monk's not like a traditional pet class, so obviously some people might say it's a little bit of an odd choice, but Monk needs a little bit of a freshen up. So, you know, let's be positive about this. Now, the third thing that I think that this, you know, potentially going to be a really good season is actually something not in the notes, and it is the fact that the only nerfs we're getting are these two, and we will talk about the nerfs in a minute. But it means that Firebirds is untouched, and Firebirds, the only change we've got here is we're now going to get an icon for the mirror images, which is going to be very helpful, but they haven't changed this at all. So if you enjoyed the bird runs, if you enjoyed the Firebird meta this season, you will still be able to do that. Now, that I think is probably a good thing, because Firebirds is a very strong solo build. You know, you could play it to quite a high level even if you didn't group. If you did group, you obviously had to put up with the lag and the freezes. So I'm going to say it's probably a good thing that it hasn't been nerfed, just simply because people will find it fun. So they're the three reasons that I think the season is going to be good. Now, if we get on to why I'm a little concerned about the season, well, I mean, first off, this nerf is massive for Bone Spear. So the Masquerade of the Burning Carnival is the Necro's best set. For solo speed farm, it's fun. I play it quite a lot. It's strong, it's fast, it's tanky. But its damage is being absolutely decimated here. This is a huge damage reduction, not just in the number, but also the simulacrums used to deal triple the damage, and that's not how it reads. It's basically you all just do this amount. Now, the Masquerade set scales really well with density and area damage, and again, by taking off these modifiers, you're going to really nerf it for pushing. I think it's probably going to suck for speed farming now, and for group play as well, it means that we can't do bat runs. I'm guessing people won't run bat runs, which is normally a Bone Spear Necro and a Legacy of Dreams Mage Necro. I don't see that being a thing, so we've now got one less meta option. And let's say Firebirds, if they haven't fixed the freezes and the lag, if there hasn't been some work under the hood to improve this, then basically we're in for another freeze lag fest. And that, again, was another big reason a lot of people left the game in the season. So let's, you know, that, as I say, I think this nerf is a bad thing. We've got less meta options, I think, unless something happens with the ethereals, unless there is some way of making a few new builds, as we said earlier, with two-handers or one-handers going on to off-hands, something like that. If that isn't the case, then I think we've probably got less options. Now, it may well be that inners makes its way into the meta. Maybe we're subbing out the Firebirds for the inners. I mean, again, it's another pet build. Pet AI is pretty wonky in this game, so we'll have to see how this performs. But this to me is worrying. I think we've basically taken away a very strong solo speed farm build taken away a very strong solo push build. I think it's fine to nerf it. You know, I said in my video when we looked at all the sets and the leaderboards that this is too strong, but this is a huge nerf. And what worries me is that Witch Doctor had a similar thing with Mundanugu. The nerf was too much. The feedback given to Blizzard was this is too much, and it just went as it was. So I'm concerned that this will go as is, and that's going to make the Necros suck again. Again, subject to maybe something with the Ethereals, but that will be just for this season. So anybody playing off season, if such players exist, yeah, that's kind of bad. The Valor nerf I think's fine. I think pulling this down by a few tiers is not necessarily too bad. You know, that's not going to impact. Doesn't affect the speed solo speed farm, which runs off the Fist of Heavens rather than the Heaven's Fury. So I think that's absolutely fine. Now, let's say the Ethereals don't do much. Let's say that the Ethereal is just a regular weapon. Where are we? Where are we? It's up at the top, isn't it? Ethereal items. Now, God, I'm such a potato. Here we are. So the Ethereal items, let's say they add the weapon power. Let's just say it's a normal weapon. And the selling point is that it's got an extra passive on it, and it's got a new icon, and the season, it's basically Season of Treasure. And I don't think that's going to be strong enough for a season theme. I think unless these are adding power, if it becomes Season of Random 5th passive, you know, 6th if you take a Hellfire, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, the passives in this game are not particularly strong. Sometimes, like Barb, Wizard, you can think maybe an extra passive would be handy here, but something like Necromancer, I mean, most of the passives are horrible, so there's a chance that this will just turn into Season of potentially extra 5th passive with Treasure Hunt, and I'm not sure that's going to be enough to keep people interested, but we will have to see. My biggest worry, I think, with the season is there is just so little here in terms of balance changes. I was expecting Rathma to be reworked. I felt like that didn't really go into a finished condition when it came to the game last season. I thought it needed another round of changes. I'm very surprised we haven't got anything other than an Innis rework. So Witch Doctor got kicked in the nuts with the Mundanugu nerf. No buffs for Witch Doctor, no revising of the Mundanugu nerf, which surprises me. We've got nothing for Tragul's Avatar, which is a terrible set. Nothing for Barb. Barb is so stale. We've been playing the same Barb builds for 18 months to 2 years now. No buffs for Barb at all. You know, realistically, I guess it lives and dies by the Ethereals, doesn't it? If these Ethereal items are absolutely amazing, if they're totally pog and you can crush with them, then I guess maybe some of these concerns go away. But, you know, if Innis misses the mark a little bit or doesn't function very well in groups or for whatever reason, then basically we've got a season where we've lost Bone Spear, we've got a season where we've lost Bat Runs, we've got a season where Firebirds is laggy potentially. Again, I don't know if that's been fixed or not. We might just have a laggy Firebirds 5th passive season, and that obviously, as I say, is a little concerning. But this is all before we've had PTR, so we don't really know where it's going to be. But yeah, I was desperately hoping for some more balance changes, for some more interesting things. But let's stay positive. Let's hope that the Ethereals are going to be, you know, a really, really good addition to the game. Let's hope it's a fun season. I'm looking forward to testing them out. It's interesting they can drop before 70. I don't really know how rare they're going to be, but yeah, we'll do it. But let me know your thoughts. What were you expecting out of these patch notes? Are you happy? Are you cheesed off? Do the Ethereals sound good? Most people I've spoken to say the Ethereal sounds really positive. You know, as I say, I do agree with that. But again, a lot of people were hoping for like Uliana buff, Mundanugu buff, Frenzy buff. You know, there's lots of things that people like that could have been buffed and haven't. So they're my thoughts on the patch notes, guys. I can't wait for Thursday. We'll make some videos just as soon as we can, testing everything. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. I'll see you soon. Peace.